I'm I'm definitely not a Bitcoin expert. There's plenty of other people that know way more about the technology and the graphs and this and that. What I do is as I just connect dots. That's just what I do in society and whatever. Now, seeing altcoins skyrocket, seeing other cryptocurrencies or smart contracts pump, and Bitcoin is kind of just staying in the same spot. Given all the good news that we're getting about Bitcoin, the adoption of different places and like Goldman Sachs and you know, just people, more and more people getting into it with the the threat of Bitcoin becoming more scarce, way more scarce. I don't know why it's not pumping really, like why it's not at 70,000. Um there's other factors, I guess, maybe whales or different specific details. I don't know. Like I said, there's other people that, if you want those details, you can go and find them. We got the Sacramento Kings who just came out today saying, which they mine at Ethereum. They're saying that they're gonna offer uh, their staff and the players, if they want, they can get paid in Bitcoin. Uh, when there's not much of Bitcoin, like there's no way that that this can be sustained. There's just no way. Uh, the more that sustain at this price, at some point it's gonna jump. It's gonna jump huge. That's what I'm trying to say. The more that this happens, that there's gonna be less supply of Bitcoin. You know, I, I use BlockFi and they give me 6% APR on my Bitcoin. So I heard they paid out like $35 million last month or something in Bitcoin, right? Um, Eventually the supply is gonna dry out. The more you get some of these players that are making millions of dollars, uh, they want to get paid in Bitcoin. It's gonna dry out quick. You're gonna have, the more you have institutions get in Bitcoin, it's gonna dry up quick. So that means there's gonna be a scarcity, supply and demand. There's a huge demand, not enough supply. What happens to the price? It goes up dramatically, and this is why people are saying at the end of this year it is possible for it to be 280,000 a Bitcoin, 300, maybe 400. And for me with Bitcoin, I think the sky is the limit. You hear this number. It's going to be 100,000 at the end of this year, and that just tells me, like, when I hear it's going to be 100,000 by the end of this year, I'll be disappointed if it's only 100,000 at the end of this year. I'm expecting it to go up, because there's it just doesn't make any sense why it wouldn't. It just doesn't make any sense. You'd have to see an all out ban of it, and if they did ban it, it might raise the prices there too. Um, when they banned alcohol, what happened? Well, you're gonna pay a lot of money to get this. because it's illegal. So I think it's gonna skyrocket soon. That's what I think. I think it's gonna blow up. I think it's gonna pump hard. And people make predictions. Well, in 10 years, it should be worth $1 million. Well, I think with these super cycles of them being able to mine less and less every 4 years, half of what they can mine now, I think it should be $1 million in a couple of years. There's no reason to think that someday, who knows when, it could be worth $100 million. It could be worth, one Satoshi could be worth what a dollar is right now. There's 100 million Satoshi in a Bitcoin. So to me, it's like the sky's the limit. And what people don't understand, like we're transitioning from old school 3D reality into a digital reality. Look up metaverse and things like that. You're going to be able to use your cryptos to buy whatever that's digital, you know. Songs, art, like you do that now. But for me, for me, living in the 3D reality, and when I look out to everybody else and I see everybody else constantly on their phones, that tells me that the 3D reality, which I've always known, it's very boring. It takes a long time to accumulate things, whether it's muscle, whether it's knowledge, um, wealth. It just takes a long time for things to happen. But in the digital reality, things can happen so quickly, and it's so cool. You can go. You're gonna be able to go live. Go. A lot of people are gonna live in digital reality, and I'm gonna spend a lot of my time in there because I'm highly creative. I can do. It's way easier to build in a video game than it is in the 3D reality. It just takes a lot of I don't even really have to explain this. People should know it takes a lot of effort to make products in the 3D reality to have it shipped when it can just be made so easily in the digital reality. And it should be able to help our environment when people have their possessions, instead of having their worldly possessions in a 3D reality, they have a lot of their possessions in the digital reality. And let me tell you something. My grandma passed away and my grandpa moved. He moved to go live with his family. They had so much in their house. They had so many things in their house, and this is what older people do. They just have so much things in their house, and then when your kids have to, when you pass on and the kids have to come in there, and they don't want all that stuff. Some of it, yeah, sentimental, but they don't want. You know how hard it is to flip things, to sell stuff and find a buyer. Well, it's way easier to do it on digital because way you have way more. You have a huge audience with the internet right now to be able to sell things, but it'll be a lot easier in the digital world, the metaverse or whatever it is, and it'll happen way quicker. I want this sword, right? I see it on eBay. Well, I have to buy it, and then I buy it, and then I have to wait for it to be shipped. It could be shipped in 2 days, and it could be lost. But, in this digital reality, well, I can just have it instantly. And this, looking at this, our screens and a news feed on Facebook, social media is going to be so much different in the metaverse. You can just go to somebody's. It's gonna be like having a digital house, and your digital wallet is gonna be connected to it with with your cryptos and stuff, and you'll be able to save your valuables on your wallet, whatever it is, and you'll be able to put out things to people like you do on social media. People will just, oh, I'm gonna come and say hi, and then they can see your avatar or whatever, and you can communicate with them, and the graphics are gonna get a lot better too. Um, Player Ready One, watch that movie. That is pretty spot on, and like the movie The Matrix, that is going to be in the far future where I think that they'll tap into um, our central nervous system and be able to uh, make us feel like we're somewhere else, and without having to have external suits and stuff like that. um I know people are scared of this, and there is definitely room for corruption. You watch the movie Player Ready One, you have the evil corporation. You watch The Matrix, and you have the evil corporation, which is the robots. Um, but I'd like with the decentralization of things with blockchain. Um, we're either gonna go centralized or we're gonna go freedom. That's where we're headed. Um, they're gonna have to suppress this technology like Bitcoin and things like that. But what they're gonna do is they're just hurting themselves, because this old way of thinking, the old money system, you know, old social media, like our phones. Like I'm sitting here recording this on my phone, which my phone is amazing. I can make videos, I can make music videos, I can make songs, I can like seriously, I can make songs on my phone. You can pay bills. There's so many things you can do with your phone, and it will be like the pager in the future. Um, and it's just like anything else. Technology comes and replaces it. Like the Bitcoin and these smart contracts, they'll be eventually replaced by something else too that is more sophisticated. So, but my thing is with these cryptocurrencies is I wish I had more money to put in. I really do, because it's kind of like it's almost like, honestly, to me, and I'm not giving anybody financial advice, but for me, it's kind of like being able to go into the future and see the possibility of the future back in, like, you know 1990s, being able to invest in Amazon or Apple when it's cheap, 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 cheap. um, but maybe these countries outlaw, because they got the guns. I mean, they got the guns. They're the one. That's the only thing that backs our dollar is the guns and faith. So, in this fraudulent money system, this scheme, w- it- yeah, I mean, well, what gives me hope with all of the bad news that we're having with political stuff, with social credit scores coming out with like the COVID passports and stuff like that, and then like the tensions of this manifested race bull crap that we're dealing with. Everything's racist, and with you know feminism, with communism, with all these different things coming at us. These are forms of warfare, and our politicians are, they're not stupid. They're just sold out. They had to be sold out. given all this and the potential for famine, for a depression, you know, all of this, people becoming more violent, with all this stuff happening, what gives me hope is the digital reality. That's what gives me hopes. Um, Look at the Central Land. You if you want to buy land in this digital reality, you have to pay. Uh, like people pay like $5,000 for land, probably more now. But you could do whatever you want on there, and they only have a finite amount of land, and they will only expand if the community allows it. See, this is what gives me hope, is because it's for the people. It's what the people want. It's not a central system like Mark Zuckerberg. He's like this drone that has no emotion, and it's just like, you do this how I want it, and I'm not going to allow this, and if I don't like you, you can't come on my platform. I'm kicking you off. I'm banning you. You know, you're dude, you're hurting yourself, man. You're hurting yourself. I can't wait for Trump's social media to come out. I hope it's awesome. I hope it's user friendly. I hope they have their. I hope it. I hope it blows up. I in a good way, and it gives us the freedom, and that's what I want. I want to be able to. This cancel culture is just a cancer too. I want to be able to express my opinions about the truth, and try to wake people up without having to worry about, oh, I'm gonna have a bad social credit score, I can't go here and there, I can't buy this, I'm gonna be ostracized by society. You know, if you don't like me, that's your problem. There's plenty of people I don't like. What do? I don't give them attention. You know, I'm not trying to cancel anybody. I'm not trying to get people fired, because I think that's pathetic. And it's a loser mentality. Here in America, we're adopting the loser mentality. Um, and it's very unfortunate. But what gives me hope is this decentralized system. And I mean, just think about it. Wouldn't it be cool to just like watch it? I was talking to a coworker yesterday about this. Wouldn't it be cool to go to a football game, right? And you don't have to go. You're there, and you. I think they can do this right now, but you can go, like, you don't have to just sit at the 50-yard line. When the play happens, you can go from like person to person, first person to first person. And you could be a referee on the field, watch it in a different, a view. You could watch it in all these different views, like you're actually there. You can watch it like you're a player, like off of a helmet. I seen they try to do this. I don't think it worked out too well back in the day, but it's just, you know it would be, the technology is just, it just makes, it's just, for me, the digital reality, and you can be scared of it, but look at all the people who play video games. 99% of teenagers play some form of a video game, whether it's on a console, PC, or their phone. So, and how people are always on their phone, like, you're already in the matrix. You're already in it. You're already in the simulation. So it's just like you're just going to be more immersed in it, and I'm not afraid of it. I'm embracing it because I feel like it's going to really bring out my creativity, and hopefully I'm hoping I can make a living in the simulation and not have to work at a stupid factory or some stupid boring job where I know I can do way more with myself, but I'm limited because of my exposure. Like my YouTube channel. There's no reason why my YouTube should not be getting more views. There's just no way. With my thumbnails, with my headlines, there's no way it should be suppressed. But it is, you know. Um, and that's okay because it's only temporary.